Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi receives Guard of Honor at Kuwait Amir's Bayan Palace. Will meet Kuwaiti leadership. Big relief for US citizens ahead of Christmas. Government shutdown averted as President Biden signs funding bill into law. Russia claims striking Ukrainian ammunition depot, while Ukraine reports repelling attacks. US carries out series of airstrikes against Houthis in Yemen. Within hours of the Houthis fired a ballistic missile at Israel. And in cricket, India clinch under-19 Women's Asia Cup title after beating Bangladesh by 41 runs in Kuala Lumpur. First up, news on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Kuwait. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a visit to Kuwait, a first for an Indian premier in 43 years, received a ceremonial welcome and Guard of Honor at the Bayan Palace, the Kuwait Emir's official residence. Prime Minister was received by his Kuwaiti counterpart Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al Ahmed Al Sabah. Extensive talks with the Amir, Crown Prince and PM of Kuwait lie ahead. Earlier on Saturday, the Prime Minister addressed a massive gathering of the Indian diaspora at a special event named Hala Modi at Sheikh Saad Al Abdullah Indoor Sports Complex in the city. Indian nationals representing a cross-section of the community in Kuwait attended the event. Prime Minister Modi was welcomed by the community with exceptional warmth and enthusiasm. Addressing the Indian diaspora event, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India and Kuwait share a relationship rooted in civilizational and mutual affection.
भारत और कुवैत का रिश्ता सभ्यताओं का है, सागर का है, स्नेह का है, व्यापार कारोबार का है। भारत और कुवैत अरब सागर के दो किनारों पर बसे। हमें सिर्फ डिप्लोमेसी ने ही नहीं कि दिलों ने आपस में जोड़ा है।
Prime Minister Modi highlighted that Kuwait helped India when it needed the most by providing liquid oxygen to the country. PM Modi added that India too supported Kuwait during the COVID-19 pandemic by sending vaccines.
जब भारत को सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत पड़ी तो कुवैत ने हिंदुस्तान को लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन की सप्लाई दी। हिज हाइनेस द क्राउन प्रिंस ने खुद आगे आकर सबको तेजी से काम करने के लिए प्रेरित किया। मुझे संतोष है कि भारत ने भी कुवैत को वैक्सीन भेजकर इस संकट से लड़ने का साहस दिया। भारत ने अपने पोर्ट्स खुले रखे ताकि कुवैत और इसके आसपास के क्षेत्रों में खाने पीने की चीजों का कोई अभाव ना हो।
Applauding the country's achievements, Prime Minister Modi said that India is the 5th largest economy in the world. It is home to the world's #1 fintech ecosystem and the 3rd largest startup ecosystem globally.
आज भारत दुनिया की 5वीं सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी है। आज दुनिया का #1 फिनटेक इकोसिस्टम भारत में है। आज दुनिया का 3रा सबसे बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम भारत में है। आज भारत दुनिया का 2रा सबसे बड़ा मोबाइल निर्माता देश है। मैं आपको एक आंकड़ा देता हूं और सुनकर आपको भी अच्छा लगेगा। बीते 10 साल में भारत ने जितना ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाया है, भारत में जितना ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाया है उसकी लंबाई वो धरती और चंद्रमा की दूरी से भी 8 गुना अधिक है।
Prime Minister Modi also highlighted that countries around the world are opening their doors to India's skilled workforce.
भारत ने हाल के वर्षों में करीब 2 दर्जन देशों के साथ माइग्रेशन और रोजगार से जुड़े समझौते किए। इनमें गल्फ कंट्रीज के अलावा जापान, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, फ्रांस, जर्मनी, मॉरिशस, यूके और इटली जैसे देश शामिल हैं। दुनिया के देश भी भारत की स्किल्ड मैन पावर के लिए दरवाजे खोल रहे हैं। साथियों, विदेशों में जो भारतीय काम कर रहे हैं उनके वेलफेयर और सुविधाओं के लिए भी अनेक देशों से समझौते किए जा रहे हैं।
And DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre is joining us live from Kuwait for more. Hi Akshay, we just heard what Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said. He also highlighted, that countries around the world are opening their doors to India's skilled workforce and many other things. First things first, tell us what is happening there and how excited, are the Indian diaspora?
Well, there is excitement not just in Indian diaspora, but the Kuwaiti people as well, Siddharth. In fact, we have been traveling around the country, and it's not just the Indian origin people who are asking us about the visit by the Prime Minister, but also the Kuwaiti people as well. The people-to-people connect has been strong for the past several decades. It was just a lack of a personal touch by the Indian leadership that was missing. And with the arrival of Prime Minister to Kuwait, that need has also been fulfilled with the Prime Minister being here in Kuwait right now. So there is a lot of excitement. There is a lot of clamor as far as Prime Minister's visit is concerned. People are excited, and not just the Indian diaspora members. It's the Kuwaiti people as well, the Kuwaiti corporates, the government. Every sector is enthusiastic about the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, what is happening right now is the bilaterals between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the leadership of Kuwait. In fact, the first bilateral was about was with the Emir of Kuwait. The second is with the Crown Prince of Kuwait, and the third with the Prime Minister of Kuwait. And then there will be signing up of memorandums of understanding, followed by an official press conference by both the sides as far as this visit is concerned. It's a huge success, in fact, Siddharth, as far as the visit is concerned. It's a historic visit. We saw yesterday how Prime Minister Narendra Modi touched upon all the aspects of the Indian diaspora, as well as the cultural similarities between the two countries, the areas of engagements besides trade and other investments. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Arabian Gulf Cup as well of football, where he attended the opening up of the ceremony along with the Emir of Kuwait at the invitation of the Emir. So, in fact, it's not just an official visit per se, but also a personal visit as well, with the kind of engagement that we are seeing, both the leaders enjoying the opening up ceremony of the Arabian Gulf Cup, sharing their love for football as well, and sports too, which can be another potential area of engagements between the two countries, with Kuwait and India both, thriving to become major sports power around the world as well. So we can expect a lot of engagements to take place as far as both the countries are concerned now here on, including in the defense sector, in the education sector. There is healthcare, where Kuwait can learn a lot from India. There is maritime defense, where both the sides can exchange views and expertise when it comes to their respective landscapes are concerned. There can be a joint military exercise between the two countries that can be started as far as a cooperation between these two nations is concerned. And besides that, people-to-people connect and welfare of Indians who are living in Kuwait and in the Gulf region, that remains a priority as well. But also, let's also talk about the elephant in the room, the most important pillar as far as the relation between the two countries is concerned, and that is energy security for India. And Kuwait being the sixth largest supplier of crude oil and fourth largest supplier of LPG, it is very much there as far as India's priorities are concerned when it comes to energy needs. And we can expect it's not just the current energy supplies, but both the countries can share their expertise in the future of energy, that is green energy, hydrocarbons, and renewable energy sources such as wind energy, solar energy, because both the countries have a lot of space and environment where wind energy can be harnessed, solar energy can be harnessed. Both the countries have deserts where solar energy can be exploited as far as Kuwait and India are concerned. So we can expect both the countries engaging in that arena as well. So we can expect a lot of memorandums of understanding being signed between the two countries. And as the Prime Minister has said, that while the distance between the two countries is just 4.5 hours when you take a flight from Delhi to Kuwait city, but it took about 43 years for a Prime Minister to come. But we can expect a closer relation moving forward between the two countries.
Definitely, indeed, Akshay, this is a very significant and historic visit by the Indian Prime Minister. In fact, any Indian Prime Minister is visiting Kuwait after like 43 years, to be very specific. Akshay, you just told us about this visit will certainly strengthen the energy bilateral ties between both the countries, and especially elephant in the room, like you just mentioned, energy security. India will certainly strengthen its energy security this time around, and relations will certainly be strengthened. Also, can you just tell us a bit about the MOUs? I know they will be signed a while after a while, but can you just share some details on what MOU is the most specific or most awaited among all?
Well, Siddharth, in fact, all of the areas that we were discussing, including trade, investment, energy security, defense cooperation, pharmaceutical industry, education, healthcare, all of these are important in their respective areas. But when it comes to Prime Minister's priorities, we saw that when he landed here in Kuwait, his first engagement was with the workers, was to visit a labor camp in Kuwait and see the living conditions for Indians. So we have seen this in the past as well, that Prime Minister has prioritized the welfare of the Indian diaspora. In fact, Prime Minister, when he was speaking at Hala Modi event as well, he thanked the Indian community that is working in Kuwait and that is in fact contributing to the the Kuwait society, while also working for our country as well, for their country as well. So we can expect certain MOUs to be signed between the two countries. That is going to be that seems to be the priority of Prime Minister about the Indian diaspora and people-to-people exchange. How the working conditions can be significantly improved, even from what it is right now in the coming years. So that is going to be there. And second is going to be about energy supplies, because Kuwait is in fact a country with one of the largest proven oil resources, proven oil reserves in the world. In fact, 6% of proven oil reserves in the world is in Kuwait, with a country significantly smaller than the other Gulf nations here, as compared to Iran or Saudi Arabia. But it has a lot of resources when it comes to fossil fuels. So that is going to be there, and Kuwait will also be expecting to share and to tap into the India's growth story into Indian markets, given the fact that the growth story is exemplary one when it comes to Indian markets and Indian industry.
Definitely, Akshay. As of now, we leave it there, but we are seeing some wonderful reports by you. Keep sending them, and we'll keep taking you, on air as far as the MOUs are concerned. Thank you so much for now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The Indians in Kuwait warmly welcomed the Prime Minister with colourful performances by artists during the community event. Let's listen in to what they said about meeting the Prime Minister of India.
About the development and the rank of India in the world. For the India is fifth in economy. That's all.
Now Modi is always good, always brilliant. He conclude everything from the beginning to the end. Development of India, relation of Kuwait, everything very nice. We were very excited for Modi. Hip hip hooray! Modi hai to mumkin hai.
43 years, first time is coming. 43 years after 43 years, it's great. Yeah, and the speech is awesome. Yeah, and we are very lucky to see the Modi and his speech, and we are here presently. It's a lifetime achievement.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized the strong trade and cultural ties between India and Kuwait during his ongoing visit to the Gulf nation. Speaking to Kuwait's news agency Kuna on Saturday, PM Modi highlighted the steady growth in bilateral trade and the deep-rooted relationship between the two countries, which he described as both dynamic and historic. PM Modi highlighted key areas of cooperation such as energy, trade, diversification and innovation, while urging businesses and entrepreneurs from both countries to collaborate further. Prime Minister Modi also noted the significant contributions of the Indian expatriate community in Kuwait's development, emphasizing their role as a bridge between the two nations. Still to come on DD Indian News Hour. India condemns a Christmas market attack in Germany, in which 7 Indians sustained injuries. 38 people die in major road mishap in Brazil.
Pollution of all types across the globe is a huge problem. But what is the solution to this? Does it require individual efforts, community action, or state interference? Let's take a look at some of the possibilities, challenges and opportunities.
They have to segregate their waste, manage their organic waste within their premises as far as possible. They have to hand over the rest of the waste, the residual waste, to the authorized waste collector.
When the local administration saw what I had done, it decided to build the drainage system you see here, connecting the whole area to it.
Trees are our lifesavers. They give us oxygen, and it's unfair to harm them by hammering iron nails into them just for the sake of ads.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is in Mauritius for a 3-day visit, marking the first high-level bilateral engagement between India and Mauritius following the formation of the new government led by Prime Minister Naveen Ramgoolam. During the visit, Foreign Secretary met the former Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jugnauth. Discussions were held covering the special nature of India-Mauritius ties and the people-focused nature of the development partnership. The Foreign Secretary Misri also met Deputy Prime Minister of Mauritius and discussed ways on further consolidating the truly exceptional bilateral ties. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said India will not permit others to impose a veto on its choices and stressed it would act in its interests without being intimidated to conform.
Deep inherent unity of our existence that has allowed diversity to flower in our land. This should never be misportrayed as a negotiation between parts that are actually so integral. Nor can our great nation be projected as an idea. On the contrary, it is a timeless reality and an enduring feature in a changing world. Independence should also never be confused for neutrality. We will do whatever is right in our national interest and for global good without being intimidated to conform. In the final analysis, Bharat can never permit others to have a veto on its choices.
The External Affairs Minister also said that India had shown to everyone in the last decade that it had the capabilities, confidence and the commitment to advance development across the board.
Our nation and society are poised today at a crucial juncture. On the one hand, the last decade has demonstrated that we have the capabilities, the confidence, and most importantly, the commitment to advance development across broad fronts. On the global stage, we have established ourselves as an independent power, but one committed to global good, especially the well-being of the global South. At the same time, however, the constraints and limitations that have long been our bane still remain in play. There are viewpoints and ideologies which are more pessimistic, divisive, and even denigrating of ourselves. As a democratic polity and a pluralistic society today, as to the course the nation will take in the coming times, both the direction and destination would depend on our identity as a people, our convictions as a society, and our vision as a nation.
US President Joe Biden signed the government funding bill on Saturday, averting a Christmas-time government shutdown after successful negotiations between Republicans and the Democrats in both houses of the Congress. In a statement, Biden highlighted the bill includes disaster relief and avoids an accelerated pathway to a tax cut for billionaires. The Democratic-controlled Senate, in an 85-11 vote, passed the bill to continue government funding 38 minutes after it expired at midnight. The government did not invoke shutdown procedures in the interim. The package had earlier cleared the Republican-controlled House of Representatives with bipartisan support. The late-night vote capped a frenetic week that saw President-elect Donald Trump and his ally Elon Musk defeat an initial bipartisan deal, throwing Congress into disarray. If the funding bill had failed, non-essential government functions would have been put on ice. Employees in key services like law enforcement would have continued working but would only have been paid once government functions were back up. The US military says it bombed missile storage facility and a command and control facility operated by Houthis in Yemen, Sana'a, on Saturday. US Central Command forces said that the attack aimed to suspend Houthi operations such as attacks against US Navy warships and merchant vessels in the southern Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb and Gulf of Aden. Adding further, the forces also said it struck multiple Houthi drones and an anti-ship cruise missile over the Red Sea. The attack came within hours of the Houthis fired a ballistic missile at Israel, which injured more than a dozen people in a Tel Aviv park. Syria's new rulers have appointed Murhaf Abu Qasra, a key leader in uprising that ended Bashar al-Assad's rule as defense minister, an official source said on Saturday. Abu Qasra is a senior leader in Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the Islamist group that spearheaded Assad's recent ousting. The announcement follows intense discussions led by Syria's de facto leader Ahmad al-Shara on shaping the nation's military future. Prime Minister Mohammad al-Bashir vowed to rebuild the defense ministry with rebel factions and defectors as Syria begins a fragile 3-month transitional phase. China criticized new U.S. military aid to Taiwan on Sunday, saying the $571 million package seriously violates One China principle and provisions of joint communiques between China and the U.S. As per the ministry's release, China will take all necessary measures to protect its sovereignty and territorial integrity, calling Taiwan a red line that must not be crossed in China-U.S. relations. The White House said on Friday that Biden had authorized the drawdown of up to $571.3 million in defense articles and services of the Department of Defense and military education and training to provide assistance to Taiwan. Moving on to updates from Germany, where authorities have identified a Saudi man with a history of anti-Islam rhetoric as the suspected driver in car ramming attack at a Christmas market in Magdeburg, which killed 5 people. The suspect is 50-year-old Saudi psychiatrist Taleb Javed al-Abdul Mohsen, who has lived in Germany for almost 2 decades, was arrested at the scene, ending a bloody attack that injured hundreds in just 3 minutes. The motivation of the suspect may have been disgruntlement with the way Saudi Arabian refugees are treated in Germany, as per a prosecutor. City official further announced that the Christmas market will remain closed this year. A 9-year-old child and 4 adults were killed in the attack and some 200 people were wounded, 41 of whom had either serious or critical injuries, meaning the death toll could increase. 7 Indians were also injured in the attack, while 3 of them have been discharged from hospital. India's External Affairs Ministry condemned the attack, calling it horrific and senseless. In an official statement, Ministry said that all the possible assistance is being provided to the injured and their families. A tragic traffic accident was reported in Brazil on Sunday, where a bus with 45 passengers on board collided with a truck on Sunday. The accident took place in the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais. According to the officials, 38 people have died, while others injured remained in critical condition after being transported to a local hospital. However, the cause of accident is yet to be known and a probe is underway. Initially, firefighters reported the bus had a tire blowout, causing the driver to lose control before colliding at around 4 a.m. local time with an oncoming truck. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. World's largest ice and snow theme park has been officially opened for public in northeastern city of Harbin. The 26th edition of the Harbin Ice Snow World unveiled a crystal and dreamlike fantasy themed Dream of Winter, Love Among Asia. The park was built using 300,000 cubic meters of ice and snow, incorporating elements inspired by the upcoming 2025 Harbin Asian Winter Games. The park features 9 major zones, recreating landmark landscapes of 42 countries and 3 regions which are members of the Olympic Council of Asia. Thick layer of snow blanketed New York City as the U.S. National Weather Service reported the first measurable December snowfall in the city since 2021. Other parts of the tri-state area, including areas in New York and New Jersey, woke up to find as much as 4 to 5 inches of snow. The Wild Animal Protection and Rehabilitation Center Hospital of the Van Yuzunku Yale University this year treated 500 wild animals and released them to their natural habitats. The program is part of studies that are carried out to maintain the continuity of wildlife and protect animals. And still to come on DD Indian News Hour. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of various developmental projects in Tripura. Albania banning TikTok for a year, citing growing violence among teens. You're watching DDN News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj and a quick recap of the headlines. Big relief for US citizens ahead of Christmas. Government shutdown averted as President Biden signs funding bill into law. Russia claims striking Ukrainian ammunition depot while Ukraine reports repelling attacks. US carries out series of airstrikes against Houthis in Yemen. Within hours of the Houthis fired a ballistic missile at Israel. Russia claimed that its forces struck Ukrainian military ammunition depot, armored vehicles and self-propelled artillery on Saturday. The Russian Defense Ministry also announced the control of one more settlement in Ukraine. Meanwhile, a general staff of Ukrainian armed forces said the military successfully repelled multiple Russian offensives. According to the officials, as of Saturday afternoon, the Ukrainian forces had engaged in over 100 fights with Russian forces. Now, the latest in a string of more intense aerial assaults in the almost 3-year-long Russia-Ukraine conflict. Kyiv launched a significant drone attack on the Russian city of Kazan on Saturday, 1,000 kilometers from the border. As per Russian Foreign Ministry, 2 drones hit a 37-story apartment complex. Alongside the drones that hit the apartment block, causing damage to skyscraper but no casualties. 3 were shot down and 3 were suppressed by air defense systems. Despite the rarity of intrusions inside Russian territory thus far, Ukrainian drones have previously targeted Kazan and the nearby oil-rich areas of Tatarstan. Earlier, Russian Civil Aviation Authority temporarily closed Kazan International Airport, but later on it reopened on Saturday amid the threat posed by Ukrainian drones. Thousands of Mexican migrant workers, undeterred by the looming threat of deportation under President-elect Donald Trump, made their way back to Mexico for the year-end holidays. More than 20,000 migrants on Thursday gathered in Nuevo Laredo to form a caravan, traveling over 1,000 kilometers to avoid the dangers of criminal groups preying on them during the journey. Despite the political tension between the US and Mexico, these migrants returned to their hometowns, including Jalpan de Serra in Querétaro, where they were warmly welcomed by local residents in anticipation of Christmas celebrations. This mass return occurs as the incoming Trump administration prepares to implement its controversial deportation plans. US President-elect Donald Trump criticized the unjust costs for US ships using the Panama Canal and threatened that the US would reassume control of the canal if it felt that Panama wasn't honoring the terms of a 1977 treaty regarding the waterway's legal status. The treaty signed between United States and Panama brought a significant shift in global maritime power. The agreement granted Panama control over the Panama Canal that was initially constructed by the US. It marked a major turning point in Panama's sovereignty and international relations. Albania announced a 1-year ban on TikTok, the popular short video app, following the killing of a teenager last month that raised fears over the influence of social media on children. The ban, part of a broader plan to make schools safer, will come into effect early next year. Prime Minister Edi Rama said after meeting with parents, groups and teachers from across the country. Several European countries, including France, Germany and Belgium, have enforced restrictions on social media use for children. In one of the world's toughest regulations targeting big tech, Australia approved in November a complete social media ban for children under 16. And now some national updates. India's Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of various development projects worth over 660 crore rupees in Tripura's Dhalai district on Sunday. Home Minister, who's on a visit, in fact 3-day visit to Tripura, also visited the Bru settlement camp at Haduklau in Tripura. During his interaction with the Bru settlers, Minister assured the inhabitants that those who do not have Ayushman Bharat card will soon get their own cards. Minister also urged the youth to take good education to prosper in life. The World Health Organization has praised India for making significant progress in reducing malaria cases and deaths, especially in states where malaria is more common. This achievement has highlighted in WHO's World Malaria Report 2024. According to the report, malaria cases in India dropped from 6.4 million in 2017 to around 2 million in 2023, a huge 69% reduction. Malaria-related deaths also fell significantly from 11,100 in 2017 to 3,500 in 2023, marking a 68% decrease. WHO acknowledged the vital role of India's community health workers, most of whom are women. These workers have been instrumental in bringing down malaria cases and deaths by reaching people in remote areas. The report also noted that India has officially exited the high burden to high impact group this year, thanks to the considerable progress in reducing malaria in its high risk states. Let's take a look at other stories making news in the homeland. India marks National Mathematics Day on Sunday, honouring the birth anniversary of Srinivasa Ramanujan, a self-taught genius. Ramanujan's work revolutionized number theory, inspiring generations to pursue mathematics with passion and curiosity. 26 villages across 6 districts in the eastern coastal state of Odisha have been declared tsunami ready by the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. This recognition highlights Odisha's model for coastal disaster preparedness, gaining global acclaim. Rescue operation continues after an under-construction building collapsed in the northern Indian state of Punjab. 1 dead and some more were suspected to be trapped under the debris, and teams of National Disaster Response Force and army personnel are engaged in the rescue work. Still to come on DD India News Hour. India to take on the West Indies in a 3-match women's ODI series starting today.
Pollution of all types across the globe is a huge problem. But what is the solution to this? Does it require individual efforts, community action, or state interference? Let's take a look at some of the possibilities, challenges and opportunities.
They have to segregate their waste, manage their organic waste within their premises as far as possible. They have to hand over the rest of the waste, the residual waste, to the authorized waste collector.
When the local administration saw what I had done, it decided to build the drainage system you see here, connecting the whole area to it.
Trees are our lifesavers. They give us oxygen, and it's unfair to harm them by hammering iron nails into them just for the sake of ads.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and time now for sport. Let's take a look at highlights from the half-pipe competition at the FIS Free Ski World Cup. Chinese half-pipe star Eileen Gu won a record 17th World Cup title at Copper Mountain in Colorado on Saturday. The 21-year-old Gu took an early lead with an opening score of 90.5 on her first run. This victory marked her 14th in a row and record-settling 17th of all time. On the men's side, American Alex Ferreira was back on top at Copper with a winning score of 94.75 on his second run, the highest score awarded throughout the competition. Ferreira earned his 10th World Cup win, beating Canada's Brandon McKay and compatriot Nicholas Gopper, who took second and third place respectively. In football, Alexander Sorloth scored in stoppage time to give Atletico Madrid a 2-1 comeback victory over Barcelona on Saturday. This win lifted Atletico to the top of La Liga table with 41 points, making their 12th consecutive win across all competitions. They are now 3 points ahead of Barcelona. Barcelona with a better team in first half, with Pedri scoring in 30th minute after a brilliant run into the box. Atletico equalized when Rodrigo de Paul capitalized on a poor clearance from Marc Casado, finishing from the edge of the box. Sorloth then sealed the win with a first-time strike 6 minutes into stoppage time, converting a deep cross from Nahuel Molina. West Indies women's skipper Hayley Matthews won the toss and elected to bowl first in the first ODI of the three-match series against India at the Kotambi Stadium in Vadodara. Skipper Harmanpreet Kaur returned to the India playing 11 after missing the second and third T20Is at Navi Mumbai because of a knee injury. India handed debut to off-spinner Pratika Rawal. Put into bat first, India started their inning on a positive note. Currently, India are batting on 64 without any loss. India clinched under-19 Women's Asia Cup title after beating Bangladesh by 41 runs in Kuala Lumpur on Sunday. Batting first, India relied on opener G. Trisha's 52-run knock to post a total of 117 runs on the board. Mithila scored 17 runs for the Indian side and hammered 2 boundaries in the final over of India's innings. In reply, Bangladesh could only manage 76 runs in their 20 overs before succumbing to Indian bowlers. For India, Ayushi Shukla took 3 wickets while Sonam Yadav and Parunika Sisodia took 2 wickets each. All right, and DD correspondent Narayan Singh is joining us live for more. Hi Narayan, first things first, what a win. How do you analyze this entire match?
Definitely a fantastic win by India despite the conditions were not good to bat here. The wickets were quite spongy, especially the tricky, and the way the Indian spinner performed well. All our 3 left-arm orthodox spinners played fantastically and didn't allow any space to their opponent. And the way Parunika performed, and especially the Ayushi Shukla took 3 wickets, and also she is the top wicket taker of the tournament, taking 10 wickets. So all in all, a fantastic performance by the spinners. But the way our opener Trisha started the match and performed a fantastic knock and scored 52 runs, that was the key moment of the game, because we know that the conditions were not good to bat, and that 50, and towards the end, the way Parunika Vinod and other batter performed well, give the quick contribution towards the end. Especially that was fantastic, and that helped India to register a respectable target of 117. And when the opponent came to bat, they didn't allow any space to them, and they were bundled down early, and India won that match by a margin of 41 runs. So throughout the tournament, not only this match, there was a consistent performance by the Indian batters, bowlers throughout the tournament. They remained unbeaten throughout the tournament. So we can say that this is a strong bench strength of the Indian cricket team, the under-19 team, the way they played, and definitely they are ready for the next stage.
Definitely, Narayan. One thing which I want to ask you is that, when it comes to women cricketers, Indian women cricketers and women cricket, in India, it has flourished like anything over the past few years, especially, courtesy the government's assistance to them, definitely number one, and second, their hard work also. How do you analyze, their cricket flourishing, over the years, and they're winning tournaments after tournaments, their bowling is improving, they're working on all the 3 departments, be it batting, be it bowling, and be it fielding. How do you analyze their hard work besides the government's assistance?
Definitely, if you talk about the way the cricket progressed in India, especially the women's cricket, it's a big thing. The way the Indian batters, women batters, even if you talk about the senior level, the way they are performing and consistently performing well in the mega tournaments, and here the juniors too performing well. This shows that the Indian women's cricket is on an upward trajectory. And in the past also we saw that especially the cricketers like Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet Kaur, and in the past Mithali was there. So we also produced the world-class cricketer like Mithali Raj, and many more names were there.
Definitely.
So we can say that a good work done by the BCCI, and kudos to BCCI in promoting the women's cricket.
Indeed.
Women's cricket.
Indeed.
Definitely.
Indeed, Narayan, also credit also goes to the equipment, which they use usually. We just saw a report few days ago, a wonderful report by you indeed. You went to Meerut, Narayan, and you showed everything, from the scratch, that how the bats are made, how the balls are made, and the kind of bats which cricketers use, contribute a lot.
Definitely, we know that India is a hub in the sports manufacturing, especially in the cricket bat and the cricket ball. And we know that the cricketers all across the world are using the bats that are made in Meerut. Even the balls we are using, even it is for the pink ball cricket, for the day-night test match, red ball match, the test match with which it is played. So all in all, we can say that the India is not only performing well on the field, but off the field also. The way our craftsmen were performing, the way they are manufacturing, because the role of handicraft is becomes very crucial in the cricket bat and the cricket ball. And definitely we are just not only in Indian cricketers, the cricketers, overseas cricketer too, are also using these facilities.
Definitely, Narayan, and this match was about under 19, and we also discussed about how Indian cricket is flourishing both in men and women department. So how do you see? I mean, who are the potential cricketers who will be making their way to the main India team from this under 19 team? What's your analysis on this?
There are many more names, especially the way Trisha performed throughout the tournament. She performed well, and she was the highest, we can say, the run getter of this tournament with 152 runs. If you take a look at the top 3 wicket takers in this under 19 tournament, there were 2 Indians. Ayushi Shukla was there, and Sonam was there, and many more names were there in the top 5 list. If you talk about the batters list too, there were the top 2 Indians are there in the top 3 list. So it shows that India has a strong bench strength, and the way Ayushi Shukla bowled, if you take a look today's match, there were three left-arm spinners who took wickets. So this shows that there is immense potential in the Indian cricket team, and definitely Ayushi, the way she bowled today throughout the tournament, the way G Trisha played throughout the tournament, she was the top run getter. Definitely in the coming times you will see these names featuring in the senior teams too.
Narayan, can you tell us about the pitch condition there in Kuala Lumpur? How was it? Was it beneficial for the batters, or was it most favorable to the bowlers? How was the bowling conditions there? And tell us overall thing about when it comes to the wicket there.
It was very tough. It was spongy wicket. Definitely the ball was keeping low, and we know that as our spinners took 3 wickets, the way Sonam Yadav and Parinika Sisodia and the way Ayushi Shukla, they took wickets. All of them are the left arm spinners. So it shows that the conditions was very tricky, and it was not easy to bat in such conditions. So that's why kudos to G Trisha, the way she batted and scored 52 runs for the India. If you take a look at the Bangladesh squad, only 2 batters reached the double-digit figure. So they couldn't handle the situation and the tricky condition that were there in place. So it was difficult, but India posted a respectable target, and they easily defended that target because of their immense potential in the spin bowling lineup.
Okay, final question, Narayan, before we let you go. How do you analyze this particular under 19 team? They have created history, they have lifted the cup. Now what next? How do you analyze that? Are there some challenges which needs to be pointed out, or are there some challenges which needs to be rectified in the coming future for the under 19 cricket team in terms of facilities, and in terms of anything which you analyze?
Definitely, as you mentioned, this team, one thing I pointed about this team throughout the tournament, they remain unbeaten, and they know the art of not to lose a match by playing few bad overs, few bad strokes. So this was the thing with this team, especially this under 19 team. So unless and until a team don't have this idea, this strategy, this mentality, they can't win the big tournaments. So definitely when these players who have a strong mentality, a strong mental, we can say that match sense, definitely when they grow up, when they will go to the next stage in the senior competition, in the mega event, definitely it's a big boon for the Indian cricket, because we know that in the 50 over World Cup, India regularly knocked the doors at the knockout stages, but multiple times we saw that they faltered them at the crucial juncture of the match. So such players definitely who has a strong mentality to hold their nerves, definitely this is a big boon for the Indian cricket. In coming times, we will see India with such bunch of players dominating the women's cricket in the world of cricket.
Definitely, from this match to how the equipments are made, to what lies ahead in front of the women's under-19 team, your analysis was brilliant, Narayan, and your report was also wonderful. Keep sending us these reports. We leave it there. Thank you so much. In another significant achievement, India's total forest and tree cover has increased to 25.17% in 2023 from 24.62% as per the latest India State of Forest Report 2023. The forest cover has minimally increased compared to tree cover in the country. And meanwhile, the first-time trees grown under agroforestry have also been covered. States that added forests and tree covers are Chhattisgarh, UP, Odisha, Rajasthan and Jharkhand, and states which reduced its forest and tree covers are MP, Karnataka, Nagaland, Bihar and Tripura. The report estimates of growing stock, the extent of trees outside forests, mangrove cover, bamboo resources and assessment of forest carbon stock. Christmas festivities are in full swing across the globe, with unique celebrations spreading holiday cheer. Santa Claus visited Venezuela's capital to deliver presents to children in some of Caracas's neighborhoods. Meanwhile, in Spain, dozens of excited Spaniards queue for Christmas lottery draw in Madrid for Christmas festivities. India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. That's all for this edition of the India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news. Indeed, I was saying that we'll be back. Stay tuned to DD India. News and updates will continue.
Pollution of all types across the globe